Right now at 6, a father of 2 hit by a car and left for dead. Tonight, the search for the suspect and how his family is coping.
We've been talking to them and explaining, like, Dad's at the hospital, he's okay, but they just can't see him yet.
Plus, a longtime community organization meant to boost small businesses now under investigation after tens of thousands of dollars allegedly go missing.
As a nonprofit and with other nonprofits that I've volunteered with, you don't really do any type of withdrawals.
And an abandoned school reborn as a police academy.
So it saves taxpayer money, and it also gets them in training and gets them on the road.
The new training center, officials say, will help make communities safer. Happy Friday. It is 50 degrees in the Rose City with nothing falling from the sky, but that is about to change in a very big way, especially when it comes to the snow-starved Cascades. Good evening, everyone. I'm David Molko along with Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino. So, Matt, walk us through it. What does the timing look like here?
Yeah, David, we won't be saying snow star by the end of next week. We're going to see a lot of snow in the Cascades. We're just hours away from the snow re-beginning in the mountains. Here's Timberline right now. They've had several inches over the last couple days, 2 today. But we will be talking about feet of snow, not inches of snow, as we go through the weekend and beyond. This is the weather system that's going to do it. Just now producing rain on the north coast of Washington. That's going to sweep on in, bring the heavy snow, valley rain, and some wind tonight, too, to the valleys, too. So we can't forget about that. Then colder air comes in behind it to drop our snow level down to about 2,000 feet. It'll fluctuate a bit through the week, but then it comes down quite a bit lower at the end of the week. So here's Doppler radar. Some thunderstorms happening up here, too, indicating how dynamic this front is as it moves on in, and rain beginning to fill in on the north coast of Oregon, too. So it is going to be wet tonight, wet into the morning hours tomorrow. Now, as far as the snow goes, it will become heavy overnight in the Cascades, all the way down to 2,000 feet, 2 to 6 inches of snow there. But from 3,000 feet and above, up to 16 inches of new snow. I think by Sunday morning, the skiers will be looking at about 20 inches of new snow as it continues snowing Saturday night, with more heavy snow on tap for next week, like Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all snow up in the mountains. And here's the reason why. Strong storms coming on in, the one we talked about tonight and tomorrow. Then the next one, there'll be a little break on Sunday, but another one Monday with a warm front. The snow levels go up a bit, but then they crash right back down Tuesday and Wednesday with additional cold systems coming our way. Still raining in the valleys, but towards the end of next week, we may get some modified Arctic air seeping west of the Cascades to drop our temperatures into the 20s, but things will begin to clear out at that point too. So for the Cascades, up to 5 feet of new snow over the next week. Valley rain and wind, and colder at the end of next week and next weekend. Lows in the 20s, I think, beginning on Friday, David.
Yeah, a lot to keep an eye on. Thank you, Matt. Developing tonight, the former leader of a nonprofit working to revitalize a Portland neighborhood is now accused of misusing funds. Ashley Grams is live at the former headquarters of Alberta Main Street in Northeast Portland. Ashley?
Well, Alberta Main Street has been here for many years at the intersection of 18th and Alberta, but now a new shopkeeper has taken over their offices, and former board leadership is accused of misappropriating tens of thousands of dollars.
Portland's Alberta neighborhood is known for its art community, rich Black history, and festive street fairs. The organization putting those fairs on and connecting local shops was Alberta Main Street.
It was a lot about supporting small businesses, but also an opportunity for local neighbors, people that live in the neighborhood or that are interested or connected to Alberta Street to be involved.
Allison Chown owns Mimosa Studios and served on the nonprofit's board for a few years, starting in 2011.
We would do Trick or Treat Alberta Street, the Christmas tree lighting over there, Alberta Street cleanup.
But now Alberta Main Street is quiet. Their office building near 18th Street taken over by a new shopkeeper.
But then it just kind of was like a ghost town. And then everyone would come in here asking, what happened to Alberta Main Street?
Soon word got around the neighborhood, former leadership of Alberta Main Street is under investigation for embezzlement or misappropriation of funds.
I was really surprised.
The Oregon Department of Justice sent a referral to the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office, who tell KGW they're conducting a criminal investigation. Recent financial filings from the nonprofit show an unauthorized withdrawal of over $60,000 cash back in June of 2022. No criminal charges have been filed yet. Chown said when she worked for the nonprofit, she never saw a withdrawal that large.
There were regular bills like payroll for the executive director, but that was, maybe $1,400 at a time.
The new interim board president says they're cooperating with investigators. Now community members are coming together, trying to continue the vibrant events Alberta is known for.
Neighbors tell me they're just trying to make sure that they don't lose out on all of these events that this organization used to run. Now that's the Alberta Street Fair, Christmas tree lighting, and community cleanup days. Of course, we'll continue to follow any developments in this investigation. David?
Yeah, a lot of questions in that neighborhood tonight. Thank you, Ashley. Let's get to your headlines, starting with an arraignment for the suspect in a deadly stabbing at a MAX station. 22-year-old Edel Aragon Cruz pleaded not guilty this morning to second-degree murder. Police say on Christmas Eve he stabbed 23-year-old Juan Francisco Oriana Gavarreta. The stabbing happened at or near the Providence Park MAX station, but the victim got on the train and was found at the next stop, Goose Hollow. He later died at the hospital. A teacher and football coach at South Albany High School is facing criminal charges, accused of stealing from students, colleagues, and the school. David Younger turned himself in Wednesday. Albany police opened an investigation in late November after several student athletes reported cash and an iPhone stolen from their locker room. Authorities add they believe there could be more victims.
What a breach of confidence and a letdown for a role model and a mentor in our community to steal from, youth. It's disheartening for a lot of people.
Younger is also accused of stealing more than $1,000 in cash from the school. Portland-based nuclear energy company NuScale has reportedly laid off 40% of its workforce. That is according to the Huffington Post. Now, back in November, you might remember NuScale shelved work on a first-of-its-kind small modular nuclear reactor power plant when its partner in that project backed out. Now, while NuScale is headquartered in Portland, most of its 500-plus employees work at its Corvallis facility. The small reactor tech was developed at Oregon State by the company's co-founder. And a popular day center for homeless people in the Dalles has closed after neighbors complained the center had a negative impact on the neighborhood. The city accused the nonprofit St. Vincent de Paul's Day Center of creating a public nuisance. City officials argued that was in violation of a city ordinance that requires businesses to be responsible for much of what happens within 300 feet of their building. According to the police chief, someone has been arrested or cited within 300 feet of that day center 34 times for types of nuisance crimes in a single month. The day center is now closed temporarily while it works with the city to try to find a way forward.
There's feces everywhere. I try to walk my dogs every day and I have to pull them away from it. We've had people in our house. I've been attacked.
We're just looking for structure in a way to be able to move above society's judgment.
Coming up on The Story, Blair Best will have more on the remaining options for homeless people in the Dalles and what's next when it comes to the city's claim. Developing this evening, a Gresham family is grieving after a driver ran into a man riding his motorcycle on New Year's Eve. The hit and run was recorded on video, and police are still searching for the person behind the wheel. Our Sydney Dorner spoke one-on-one with Angel Blackburn's family and joins us live from OHSU. First of all, Sydney, how is the dad doing tonight?
Yes, I spoke with his wife, who tells me the father of two is currently fighting for his life in ICU at OHSU. Audrey Blackburn says her husband Angel has undergone several surgeries in just 5 days. He's 28 years old with 2 young boys. On New Year's Eve, she says they had returned to Gresham from a Steelers and Seahawks game in Seattle. That's when Angel went for a ride on his motorcycle and was hit at a red light on Division Street and 202nd. The driver then ran over Angel's body and parked by a nearby apartment, taking off.
All I know is the people who did this are not good people whatsoever, to not only hit him but run him over and then proceed to just park and casually get out of their car, because we have the video of them getting out of the car afterwards. They didn't run. They didn't care. It was like they were on their way to the grocery store.
Police tell me they are still looking for the driver and passenger who fled on foot. Here's video given to us by Gresham Police. It's a red Chevy Aveo. If you've seen this vehicle or have any information that can be helpful, you're asked to reach out to Gresham Police. One of the bystanders at the scene happened to be a nurse who helped Angel at the time before he was transported to OHSU. Audrey says she's overwhelmed with the amount of community support they've received. If you would like to help them out, they have a GoFundMe set up under the Blackburn family. Sydney Dorner, KGW News. Back to you, David.
Thank you, Sydney. Okay, between a historic teachers' strike and the resignation of the superintendent, you might say it's been a turbulent few months for Oregon's biggest school district. And here comes another change for Portland Public Schools. Thomas Schultz is in the newsroom with details on who will lead the district moving forward, at least for now. Thomas?
Well, David, Dr. Sandy Husk will step in as interim superintendent now. She previously led the Salem-Keizer School District. And high schoolers are asking for immediate action. One goal, to mend relationships with staff and families after the district's first ever teacher strike back in November. Students want deals too for staff that are still looking for a new contract.
I'm hoping to see transparency, honesty, connection with students, staff.
More than a month after Portland Public Schools' first teacher strike, students remain focused on contract negotiations for other staff, like paraeducators and librarian assistants.
I think we see sometimes, our staff members being stressed out with so many caseloads and, serving so many students. And I think just being relieved with an actual contract would be very beneficial.
At the helm will be new interim superintendent Dr. Sandy Husk, who was appointed to the role Thursday. Husk previously led Salem-Keizer schools from 2006 to 2014. She'll take over now from Guadalupe Guerrero, who will step down on February 16th.
She's a superintendent who was very focused on advancing student achievement, getting more equitable outcomes for students.
School board member Julia Brim Edwards led the hiring process. She says Husk was an appealing candidate for various reasons. She's already led a large school district, raised student achievement, and
she's been in a district that has had to make very difficult cuts.
And after reaching a deal with its teachers, Portland Public says budget cuts are inevitable.
And we knew we needed an experienced leader.
A leader who will be tasked with regaining community trust after the contentious strike.
She's very much somebody who brings people into the room and into the conversation.
Something the district and its students want to see.
We just came off, a pretty big strike that was very historic. And I think it would be great for her to, remend those relationships.
Now, along with remending relationships, Husk will be tasked with running day-to-day operations of the district. She'll make a bit less than $140,000 to do so until June 30th.